Actually, as far as stoning is concerned, as I told you, myself, I believe that no one can prescribe stoning for any case.
Right.
But when I'm talking about other scholars, other Islamic jurisprudence, they say with some conditions it may happen to have such punishment.
Right.
But I will say this is not practical, it's not going to happen. Let me explain for you. In the case of carnal knowledge for a person who is married, if he cheats on his wife and cheats on other people's wife, and do the same thing that I don't want to explain again, with conditions. And what is the conditions? The condition that all scholars mention is that, first of all, there must be 4 or 8 very, very pious people who do not commit sin at all. They must do testimony and say, we have seen by our eyes this happened. Exactly. And their descriptions and their testimonies must be identical. So everyone says the same thing exactly. And they must be all together at the same time. If 2 people are coming to the judge and say this, and the other 2 are stuck in the traffic, according to the jurisprudence, these 2 must be punished, so the other 2 cannot come to accompany their testimony. So Islam trying to prevent this from happening. And the most important point is that according to those who are speaking about stoning in some cases, in very, very rare cases, they said there must be 4 or 8 just and pious people who do not commit sins, including sin of breaking other people's privacy, including sin of looking at other people's private parts. If someone is looking at other people's private part, he is not pious. If someone is breaking other people's privacy, it's not pious, because the Quran says, وَلَا تَجَسَّسُوا, we are not allowed to break other people's privacy. So when we look at this statement, 4 or 8 pious people who do not and did not commit sins, including sin of looking at other people's private part. So how 4 pious people are coming and say, we have seen and we have witnessed such a thing. A pious person, if sees something, just they pass on and just don't look. They don't continue to look. So if some people are there to continue to look at this issue, they are not pious people. So practically, you cannot have 4 or 8 people pious to come to do the testimony. What does it mean? It means that even according to the jurisprudence, according to all other scholars, even this is not practical. So you may ask me, if it is not practical, so why they are mentioning? I say just they mention as a way of threatening people. You have to watch out not to cheat on people's wife, to be honest and keep your honesty.
Right. So Islam, in hadith only, this is mentioned as a safeguard against the institution of family, so that people remain loyal to their spouses. And the conditions, as I understand from you, the conditions mentioned are so strict that they are practically impossible. I mean, they exist in theory, that you need to have those 4 people who have witnessed the illicit act themselves, and they can witness at the same time. And so this is the only case where, and this is exceptional. This whole procedure of 4 people coming up, witnessing and then stoning happening. Has this happened recently anywhere? I mean, in our history, where 4 pious people have actually come up and they have, So just I'm trying to see that if it hasn't happened, then it's truly theoretical, but if it has happened, then maybe it can happen.
As far as I know, in 14 centuries of Islam, we had no, as far as I know, I didn't come up and didn't encounter even one single of testimony from 4 pious people about this issue. Because as I told you, someone who is witnessing this could not be pious.
Right.
So is not practical.
Right.
So if we want to conclude, I have to say that the punishment for stoning as a way of punishment is not a law in Islamic Sharia.
Right. So thank you very much for that. Now another question comes almost subsequently, that is this opinion and this research, is it your personal opinion, or is it, are there other people, other learned people with you in this point of view, or this is just your own?
Yes. No, it's not my personal belief. And there are some scholars who, like me, said that absolutely we don't have this punishment in Sharia. And there are some people who just say, yes, but with this condition. And when we ask them, okay, if it is a condition, how is going to be practical? How we can have 4 or 8 pious people who do not commit sin, and they are coming to you and say, we have witnessed this sin. It's not possible. They are contradicting each other. So to answer your question, yes, there are some others who say that stoning is a way of punishment, but the way that they themselves prescribe it, it means that is not practical. Because I want to add one more thing, that there are some people who say, if someone comes herself or himself and acknowledge and said, I have done such and such and such, can the punishment take place? According to some fuqaha, some jurisprudence, no. They say it must be by testimony of 4 or 8 people. So if someone come to me and say, I have done, I say, you are made mistake, you are insane, just forget it, I don't know. So even we have in history that when some people came to Imam just ignored him and didn't want to listen to him. So by self-claiming, even this punishment is not going to happen according to some scholars. Yes, maybe there are some who says, if someone come and claim herself or himself, then this punishment is going to take place. But according to some hadith and traditions that we have, this is not going to happen, because this must be coming only from 4 or 8 people who witness this and make this testimony.
So maybe we have another dimension to this, that with the person's voluntary admission of an illicit act that would be punishable, we cannot punish that. But if 4 other people, independent people, and just people, pious people, they admit it, then it may also mean that it also kind of signals that such kind of act has been performed, if at all, has been performed very publicly, or something that's very well known. So I think Islam also tries to protect from spreading immorality in society by maintaining this shadow, theoretical shadow of a very harsh punishment. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I do agree with your point. It's a very interesting point that you have mentioned, that if someone is coming to the point that, explicitly in this society, in the street, they do something that, hundreds of people, thousands of people are witnessing, so they don't leave any room for forgiveness. So then maybe there are some people who speak about punishment. So Mainly, Islam is trying to threaten people not to think of breaking people's integrity, not to breaking other people's family. Because as you know, when cheating is going to happen, many families are going to be destroyed. You see, for example, this person has family and children. The lady is married and has children. So if someone is cheating on this lady, then all struggles, fight, depression, committing suicide, everything is going to happen. So the foundation of family will be in question. Islam tried to preserve this concept of family and to keep the family together. That's why, according to some jurisprudence, there would be some threatening to punishment, so people be careful not to think of even such a sin.
Right. So to conclude, stoning has not been mentioned in Quran, we have learned. It is mentioned in some of the hadith, and some scholars, as we've learned from Professor Mesbah, that some scholars prescribe it as an extreme, in an extreme case, but with such strict conditions that this is practically impossible and actually has not been executed. So the concept of stoning, even if we take those exceptional conditions, is there to protect the institution of the family and also to maintain the high moral standards in the society. So with that note, I would thank Professor Mesbah Moosavi, and thank you all too. We will be back with another topic next time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.